Before the video starts, I want to let you know I'm trying a different style of video for this. So if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and click notifications so you never miss a video. Now, really before the video starts, we need to rank Sonic 1 on the tier list. Unfortunately, I would have to give Sonic 1 a strong C. With no spin dash in the base game, half the levels kind of being shit. However, Sonic 1 is still fun. It has Green Hill Zone and Starlight Zone, which are great. Spring Yard is mostly alright. But the problem with it is, there isn't really much reason to go back and play it. There are just better Sonic games. Now, let's watch that intro. Sonic CD, released in 1993, was an exclusive to the Sega CD, or, for all of my Brits, the Mega CD. Of course, the Sega CD was an add-on to the Genesis, allowing it to play CDs, giving it higher music quality, being able to play full motion video, and fancy new effects. For the low price of $299.99, adjusting for inflation, that's $670. Sega needed a big game to sell this add-on. At first, they were going to port Sonic the Hedgehog to the Sega CD, but eventually that idea was scrapped and a wholly new game was to be created. Led by Notomo Oshima, co-creator of Sonic, due to half of Sonic Team being in the US working on Sonic 2 with the Sega Technical Institute, or STI. Great acronym, by the way. Sega got their hit, with Sonic CD being the best-selling game on the Sega CD, selling a total of 1.5 million units. With the Sega CD selling 2.24 million units. But they shouldn't release any more add-ons. It would probably be shit. Fuck the 32X. So does it live up to the hype? Let's find out. When you boot up the game, we get a beautiful animated cutscene by Studio Juno. But if you're playing the Sega CD version, this is definitely stretching the full motion video part. Thankfully, Christian Whitehead remastered the video for the 2012 re-release. But now, we have to talk about Little Planet, a small celestial body that only appears 1 month out of the year over Never Lake. Sonic, needing a vacation after kicking all that egg ass, races off to see the sights. After almost being crushed by falling rocks, he sees Little Planet chained to the ground with a suspiciously shaped mountain connected to the chain. Sonic races up the chain to find out what has happened. Palm Tree Panic, the first level of the game. Sonic controls most of the same as in Sonic 1. He can run, jump, roll, but now he has the spin dash. What the fuck is this? Hold on. Alright, so I gotta... Yes. Oh, there it is. And, much better. And now, he has a new move. The Super Peel Out, which lets him go to top speed in an instant. Palm Tree Panic is a pretty normal first Sonic level, with butterflies, some ant wheel thing, and a mosquito looking thing. What the hell even is that? And now, Eggman uses flowers instead of animals to power his machines. Things around the level, we got loop-de-loops, weird spinning things, and... holy shit. But, triangle pattern in the ground, some palm trees, and green grass? This seems so familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Oh, one of the hoes. This is Amy Rose. Her tarot cards told her that her knight in shining armor would be on Little Planet, and the first picture she saw was Sonic. But we don't need those hoes. Oh, and just like in Sonic 1, a big ring will appear at the end of the stage when you have 50 rings. The special stages are a little weird. It's a 3D space and you destroy UFOs? I don't know why you destroy the UFOs, but eh. And now we have a time stone. I bet that will be important later. Palm Tree Panic Act 2, and oh, the past and future signs. When you reach top speed with one of these activated, you go to the past or future. When you travel to the past or future, the entire level theme changes. As well, while you're in the past, you can find one of these generators. It kills all the enemies in the stage, and it says that Sonic made a good future? Whatever that means. Oh, I see why. This must be the work of Eggman. He's placed generators in every zone, causing a bad future so we can rule over Little Planet. So now we have to destroy the generators in every zone or collect all the time stones. And after defeating the most pitiful boss in any game ever, we race off to... Collision Chaos is the next zone, and oh, Amy got kidnapped by us? This is Metal Sonic, created by Dr. Eggman to match the speed and power of Sonic. So now we gotta save Amy. Great. The zone seems to be under construction by Eggman, with all the metal beams around and such. The pink definitely adds to the aesthetic of the zone, making it pop out. But the level itself... This is where we start to see the interesting level design of Sonic CD, which is pretty much just a bunch of bouncy bullshit everywhere. You got your bumpers, your bouncers, and your flippers that make you go flying in some direction. For enemies, we got this ladybug, these praying mantis that throw blades at you. Huh, where have I seen that before? And this butterfly that drops powder? Did you know some sprites left over in the game files may have shown that this powder made Sonic sneeze? That definitely wouldn't have been annoying. Gimmicks we got around the stage. We got some score givers that push you into the background a bit. The previously mentioned bouncy bullshit. And last but not least, definitely the most annoying part of the zone is the little popping balls that when you hit it, pops and pushes you in the direction you hit it, which is just spectacular. Of course, the zone has a past and future, but they're not very relevant. And the boss is just some annoying pinball. He dies in 3 hits. Let's just move on to... Tidal Tempest. Kind of gives the same vibe as Labyrinth Zone, an underwater civilization left over from the past. Things around the zone, we got pipes that push you around, face statues that shoot energy that pushes you, pillars with spikes at the end that fall down, a spinning chain with a spike ball at the end, probably the worst thing to have in common with Labyrinth Zone, and sometimes the water will have a current which will push you. For enemies, we have lobsters that shoot spikes, dragonflies, and what the hell even is that? Yeah, this is a pretty basic water level. Something I do find interesting, however, is the boss. The boss is only 1 hit, but he's got a bubble shield around him, which basically makes it impossible to hit him until all the bubbles are gone. I'm seeing a trend here. Why are all the bosses so gimmicky? The bosses up to this point haven't really tested your skills. It's kind of just been a gimmick for each one of them. Well, I basically forgot that entire zone existed, so let's move on to... Quartz Quadrant, one of Eggman's mines, and its claim to fame are the conveyor belts. By running past one of these switches, you can switch the path of the conveyor belt. And thankfully, this stage is interesting and not making me fly all over my screen. Gimmicks, we got some pipes that spin you around, some falling blocks, rotating platform, floating platform, and the previously mentioned conveyor belts. For enemies, we got something with a gun, a jumping spider, snails that have spikes on their backs, and a bitch-ass worm. Unfortunately, the boss kinda sucks. You're on a conveyor belt dodging Eggman's attacks until the platform he's on is destroyed. A whole lot of waiting and not really testing my skills as a player. Just being a gimmick. You know, that song was pretty good. Let's see what's next. A wacky workbench. The theme of this level is an industrial Eggman facility. Usually we would see this at the end of the game, but its placement here isn't bad. Yeah, this level sucks ass. The floor is bouncy in this zone. It's not bouncy in the sense of a spring, bouncy by shooting you to the very fucking top of the level every time. The stage is partly vertical, but eventually you're going to have to deal with that terrible floor. Once again, Gimmicks being very overbearing. So for enemies, we got this traffic light looking motherfucker, a hopping grasshopper, and a bee that shoots shit at you. For Gimmicks, we got these barbed electric things that fuck you over, some ice dispensers that freeze you, some block shifting platforms, these spinning tubes that go in a circle, and poles that make you go up and down and shoot you in the direction you want. Definitely the most memorable moment is when you jump on the rocket ski and go flying. And finally, another boss that's just Gimmicks. Eggman drops broken pieces of the platform to try and crush you, and you have to jump on them to jump onto the next platform and hit him. Then you just hit him 2 more times and he's dead. Yeah, pretty underwhelming. I'm over this bullshit. What's the next zone? Stardust Speedway. The theme of this zone is a city with a lot of association with musical instruments, with trumpets and other musical aspects around the city. And the zone is finally good. The atmosphere of this zone is amazing, and the sense of speed you get is great. The only thing I could complain about is the spring pathways you can go on, but they don't bother me that much. For Gimmicks, we got switches that can change the foreground you touch, metal spike balls that come from the ground and ceiling, spring launchers, rotating platforms that have spikes on the side, and dash pads that send you flying. For enemies, we have these fireflies that shoot lasers, these roly-poly things, this bug thing that has a propeller on their back, and these weird white things with wings. And the boss is actually good. It's a race between you and Metal Sonic, and it actually tests your skills. Metal Sonic has 2 attacks. When you're ahead of him, he'll do a dash, and if you touch him, you get hurt. And if he's in front of you, he'll maintain his speed and have an electric shield around him. You need to maintain your speed while dodging Metal Sonic to win the race. And if you can't keep up with Metal Sonic, Eggman has an instant death barrier. Oh, looks like somebody was too slow. Oh yeah, I forgot Amy was here. Well, let's go to Metallic Madness, the final zone of the game. This is Eggman's main base on Little Planet. Like most final levels, it is really dangerous. Spinning saws coming out of the ground, moving spinning spike things, and metal pillars that will crush you. Quite a lot of hazards in this zone. For Gimmicks, we got platforms that shift, platforms that flip, platforms that disappear and reappear, circles with spinning tracks, and platforms that switch your perspective. For enemies, we got these spike movers, some guys with spinning saw blades, a big fuck you bomb, and these bees that carry spike balls on ropes. And I couldn't talk about this zone without talking about little chibi Sonic. He's such a cutie. But finally, we are on the final boss. And the level before, it is so hard. So you've got the flippy platforms, which is the only way to get to the boss. And then you have a pillar that will crush you if you don't make it in time. I died 10 times in this section. It was so goddamn annoying. Before we can fight the boss, we have to defeat 3 of these firefly things, which is... How the fuck is it here? But now the final boss, and what the hell? The boss isn't bad, but the final boss, it's just disappointing. No spectacle, no crazy graphics being used, it's just fucking squares. He throws his squares at you from the top and the sides, and rolls around on the ground. And the boss is only 4 hits. the final boss of the game is defeated in 4 hits. And now, we're finally out. Oh, why the hell is Amy here? With that, we get another beautiful animated cutscene by Studio Juno. Now there are 2 different cutscenes you could have gotten, the bad ending or the good ending. Of course, to get the bad ending, you must fail to collect all the time stones or destroy all the generators. In both, Sonic saves Amy and watches as the mountain and chain are destroyed. In the good ending, Little Planet disappears, but in the bad ending, you see that Eggman has gotten a time stone and he's trying to escape. But Sonic spins into a ball and chucks a rock at him, blowing him up. Is he alive? At the end of the credits in the bad ending, Little Planet reappears with a chain and it says try again. But in the good ending after the credits, flowers appear and it says you're too cool. You may think that's the end, but we've got one more thing to look at. You've actually been listening to it this whole time. The Now, Sonic CD has a whole lot of music, so I'm mostly just going to be talking about the Japanese soundtrack, since it is my favorite. There are 4 tracks for every zone: a past, present, bad future, and good future. All of the songs follow a basic formula. You have the present, the normal version of the song. The past is a remix of the present, feeling like you're in the past, exploring unknown territory. The bad future, once again a remix of the present, feeling sinister and like something bad is going to happen. Finally, the good future, a remix of the present again, is triumphant or laid back, showing the good you've done for the future. I think every single song in the soundtrack is a bop. I'll show you some of my favorites.
You're strong, you can fly, you can reach the other side of the rainbow. It's alright, take a chance, 'cause there is no circumstance that you can't handle. When you use your mind, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom keeps you running fast. Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, save the planet from disaster.
So now, I can finally rank Sonic CD on the tier list. Pros. Graphically, the game looks great. The music is phenomenal, and the atmosphere of the game is amazing. Cons. The game is very gimmicky. The bosses are mostly gimmicks than actually testing your skills, and Wacky Workbench exists. So unfortunately, I would have to give Sonic CD a low C behind Sonic 1. Now, this doesn't mean Sonic CD is a bad game, it's just a deeply flawed game. I'm not going to act like I didn't enjoy my time with the game, but some things just held me back from liking it. So I think it deserves its spot under Sonic 1. So, now really, I'll see you in Sonic 2.
Believe yourself. You got to have the faith in yourself if you want this before your friends. When you feel tight, look at yourself. Inside your heart.